Hi, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about why when you're demoing your apps to your clients, timing is crucial. Okay, so I decided to get out of the office again today. However, the weather is not great and it's pretty windy, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. Right? But I wanted to get you guys out of the office a little bit, drive around a little bit, and I haven't really taken the car very many places recently, just because I've been so busy working. So anyway, this morning I got up really early because I had to release a test flight build to a client, right? And because they were going to meet with their client and they wanted to show some things, so I had to get everything demo ready, which it wasn't really demo ready because we're still in the middle of development, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about app demos or project demos, because in my experience, the right timing of your demos can make or break a project, right? If you give a demo too early before something is ready, your client could lose confidence in the app. They could just, they could say, well, it's really buggy, all this kind of stuff. Even though you say, okay, this is not ready, it doesn't work on this platform, right? If you click this button, it won't work. The designer hasn't worked on it. All these caveats, and they say, yes, I understand. But then when they use it, it really, they just can't. It really bothers them, and it's not even the functionality, because as developers, a lot of times we focus on the functionality first, whether it's communicating with the API or whatever, right? So like let's say I wrote an app that was like, it was magic, right? Let's say I wrote an app and when you push a button, fireworks go off behind me no matter where I'm standing, right? It's like totally, physically impossible. But I figure out all the code and all this stuff, and it bends physics, all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm working on all that, and I give a demo, and it's just a big gray button that says launch fireworks, right? And all that works, but it doesn't look good. The client will not like that, right? they just won't. They'll just say, I don't know about the font, or it doesn't seem to work on Android, or my friend can't get to use it, all this kind of stuff. So if you release an app too early, that's bad. However, if you release it too late, you don't get the feedback you need. Like there's something terrible about going through and developing an entire app and handing it over to the client, and then it's the first time they get a chance to see it. They say, ooh, the design is not right, or we were expecting something different, all this kind of stuff. So it's really difficult. And there's like 3 stages of demoing, right? There's screenshots, there's video, at least what we do. There's screenshots, there's video, and there's the beta build, so test flight, or we use TestFairy for Android, but we could just send an APK. It's not that big a deal, right? So we usually start off with screenshots. So like when they say, hey, we want to see what's going on, which by the way is fair enough, but sometimes you're just not ready. Like things are just all over the place. Like this is like I always think about like this. If I went to a mechanic and he's working on my car, and I just and he says I'm going to be 3 hours, and I went in after 20 minutes and say, hey, can I see how you're getting on so far? He's going to say no, right? Because everything's all over the place, right? So it's the same thing with an app. You can't be demo ready like immediately, but sometimes you can. So if they ask, I don't mind them asking. Sometimes I have to say no, right? So in the early stages, like if they're like, I really want to see how things are going, at that point, I might start with some screenshots, right? Just to show whatever. And even though the designer may not have had a chance to work on it, you know, so it's really like, it could be, it's smoke and mirrors. It's really, the one thing you want to do when you're working with clients is make sure that their confidence in you does not dip, right? So after that, you know, I will go through and I will say, we'll do a video. Like I talked about this before, you know, I'll just do a screen share like this, where I'll have the phone up next to me, which, you know, I'll use QuickTime Recorder. I'll put the phone up next to me. I'll be, you know, demoing the app as I go. Say, okay, when I click on this, this happens. When I click this, this happens. All this kind of stuff. Because then I can control the demo, right? That's the important thing. When you have something that's partway through development, you do not want to be giving that to other people for them to go through and start stumbling about, even though they know. Again, even though they know that it's in demo, because this is one thing that happened, and the test flight build is the last one. So, you know, when you're ready for them to start really testing it, and test flight, you can't tell them this thing's not ready, this thing's not ready, but you don't want to do that too early. And here's why. Many times I've gotten in a situation where I've released a test flight build too early, and I spent all the time supporting that beta build, right? So it's like, even though I say, okay, it's not ready, so yeah, we just want to see it. And I go, okay, I'll put it on test flight and I'll send it out to them. They'll say, okay, but when I click on this, this happens. When I click on this, it says, yes, it's not ready, right? Yeah, I know all of that stuff's happening. Make a list if you want and send it to me. I don't want a phone call, right? Yeah. So they'll say, okay, yeah, I understand, whatever. And then they'll say, I gave it to my friend Jeff, and Jeff can't seem to download it for some reason. And then I'm thinking, and then I have to ask all the questions. What platform is he on? Is he on Android? Is he on iPhone? All this kind of stuff. And then, you know, and then Jeff sends me some emails, and all of a sudden, I'm not developing anymore. I'm supporting an app that's not even released yet, right? So this is one of the big reasons. Video, and using YouTube specifically with unlisted videos, is probably one of the greatest tools that I use, because it's something that allows me to give a demo early on. Now, that's my opinion, but I could be wrong. I would like to hear what do you guys have any horror stories about, you know, giving a demo? I've got tons of them. But you know, tell me about what kind of stuff you do when you're working with clients, or even when you're working with whatever. I think it's a hugely ignored issue. You know, when I do a demo, it's got to be good. You know, it's, you know, your clients think that they can just walk by and say, hey, where are we with this? But you have to have it, you know, in a state of almost production, or at least something where you could give it to them where nothing breaks and falls over. Anyway, that's my opinion. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.